First off, I want to welcome you all to joining us to our first ever breathing and meditation workshop. Some of you may have known me already. For people who haven't, my name is Dr. Ashley Mack. I'm a physical therapist and I'm a movement specialist. And ultimately, I help adults live pain-free lives with the implementation of movement and stress management. And also on this call, we have our nutrition coach, Sarah Subhani, who is also a health coach who specializes in providing the necessary steps for a sustainable and effective nutrition program to reduce inflammation and improve health. She's also a certified specialist in stress management as well. And the purpose of today's workshop is to tap into the invisible and passive ways to relieve stress, which is through breathing and meditation. And the reality is that the average human can only survive 5 to 10 minutes without oxygen. And breathing is one of the most crucial functions in life, and it can be affected by many things, which includes physical limitations like chest constriction, illnesses like respiratory disease, even COVID, and then stress. And really the one factor that we have 100% control over is how we manage our stress and how we deal with it. And when we're stressed, whether it be physical, mental, or emotional, our bodies actually release this hormone called cortisol. And this hormone elevates our heart rate, increases our blood pressure, and allows us to get ready to fight or run away. And it's really a normal part of the life process. But however, if we're chronically stressed, the buildup of this cortisol hormone can actually result in fatigue, irritability, and ultimately what our main purpose is as Customer Fitness is it results in the increased sensitivity to pain. And by show of hands, have any of you been asked to just, like, whenever you're stressed, has anyone ever told you to just calm down? They're like, well, you're stressed, just calm down.
Yeah.
Happens to me all the time. But the reality is that you really can't just calm down by thinking to just calm down. In fact, the longer that we hold our breath, the longer that we are stressed, our heart rate elevates, and then our stress starts to build up as well. As our stress builds up, muscle tension grows, and then the pain gets even more intense. So really the best way to start mitigating that stress, pain, and fatigue is to focus on your breathing. And so ultimately, the way that we're going to break this down is that I'm going to teach you guys how to breathe. And then what Sarah is going to do is going to be able to take that how to breathe and apply it to a different type of meditative state, allowing you guys to really just achieve that next level. And especially focusing specific on breathing. So here's what I'd love for you guys to do right now. So it looks like you guys are all sitting, which is great. Have your feet supported. And I just want you to go ahead and just take a deep breath for me. Okay, so together we're going to go ahead and take a big breath in and then breathe out. All right, now when you're doing this, there should be 3 main areas of your body that actually should expand when you take a big breath in. First off, it's going to be the abdomen, the chest, and then the shoulders. Your belly will expand outwards towards the side because as a result, your diaphragm actually descends and it pulls air into your lungs. And then as your lungs expand, the ribs will move outwards. And then last but not least, the shoulders will elevate. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. Take a big breath in and then breathe out. By show of hands, anyone notice that like all 3 areas expanded or didn't expand? Yeah, good. And so the big piece is making sure that we are focusing on expanding those 3 areas. And those 3 areas will move in the following order. Your belly will expand, your ribs will grow bigger, and then your shoulders will elevate. And it's important that we go through that sequence of breathing because those will be the main breathing muscles throughout this. And then when we breathe outwards and when we exhale, it's usually a very passive movement, but when we are focusing on our breathing, it's going to be a forceful exhale, contracting every muscle in your body, creating tension, and we're expelling the CO2, which is the carbon dioxide. And the more oxygen that we get in our bodies, the better our bodily functions will happen. And so what we're going to do now is I'm going to guide you through what I call, it's called box breathing. It's a technique actually developed by the Navy SEALs, and it's a way for them to actually keep a very clear mind and clear head during really high stress situations. Each phase of the breath is broken down into a 4-second cycle. So you have your inhale, you have your pause, you have your exhale, and then you have your pause. So each one of those cycles is going to take 4 seconds. The great thing about being on the Zoom call is the fact that I have a timer right in front of me. So I can actually guide you through specifically when we should be able to take those breaths. All right. You can choose to keep your eyes open. You can choose to keep your eyes closed. Really, this is just a big focus on being able to ensure that we are expanding through our belly, rib cage, and shoulders. So I'm going to walk you through. We're going to do this together. So go ahead and sit up in a comfortable position. You don't have to be super straight, but you also don't have to be, I would say, avoid hunching forward, because when we're hunching forward, we actually prevent our bodies from expanding. So I would like to say, just try to find a neutral position where you can feel comfortable and have your shoulders nice and relaxed. And when we inhale, we're going to end up breathing in through our nose, and then we're going to exhale through our mouth, and really just focus on my breath and at each phase of the cycle. So we're going to go ahead and do this for the next couple minutes. I'm going to guide you through. So it's like, you don't even have to worry about like this. Like, I'm not going to tell you to clear your mind. It's like, we're just going to focus on your breath. Okay. So go ahead and keep your feet up on the floor. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to do a 4-second inhale. Ready? Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. 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 Breathe out. We're going to go 2 more cycles. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath in. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Go ahead and open up your eyes. What you should have felt was a little bit more of a calming sensation. One of the challenges that people experience when I'm teaching them how to breathe when it comes to expanding your belly, your rib cage, and your shoulders, we can have a tendency to hyperventilate. Now, there's 2 different aspects there's 3 sections of breathing. You have hypoventilation, which is that you're not breathing enough and your body's deprived of oxygen. There's a buildup of CO2 in your body. Your heart rate elevates, things get challenging. But then we can go on the opposite end of the spectrum when we're trying to really focus on our breathing, but we breathe too quickly. And that's where we are hyperventilating. And the really great thing about this box breathing is that it gives you the opportunity to focus on ensuring that you get in enough oxygen, but you are not expelling way too much CO2, which could then actually result in just a couple other problems as well. So whenever you get to a point where your pain or your tension is really significant, doing a few active cycles of this box breathing is going to be really helpful, because consider the intensity of your pain and your stress as a culmination of all these things coming together. And when you do something like a box breathing, it gives you that opportunity to regain control of how you're able to truly manage and deal with these stresses that it's dealing with you internally. So that's something that I do on a daily basis. You don't have to do it for a very long period of time. As you saw today, we were able to do it for maybe about 5 minutes, and it was actually really, really helpful. And the more that you do it, the better. And so now we're going to have Sarah come on in and talk a little bit more about how we can apply it to meditation. She's a meditation specialist. I, for myself, often go into meditation thinking that I'm going to just clear my mind. And it often makes it really hard for me to meditate or find that peace of quiet. So, Sarah, I'm going to let you take the floor and share with us about breathing, especially the breath work and how that ties in.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. I feel like 10 times more relaxed after that. So it's a good lead in. But so I think we're all familiar with meditation as a form of reducing stress or focusing or even enhancing memory. But there is a growing body of evidence that suggests that it can also be an effective treatment against chronic and acute pain. So studies have shown that meditation causes structural changes in the nervous system and the brain that make you less pain sensitive. So this rewiring can happen in as little as 3 weeks of practicing daily meditation for 15 to 20 minutes. I know that sounds like a lot, but you can obviously start off lower than that and kind of like build your way up as you start your practice. So in this study, the chronic pain sufferers reported a reduction in pain by 57% and by over 90% in the more experienced meditators. So meditation can accomplish this in 2 ways. The first way is it induces your body's own opioid system. So it releases the same neurotransmitters that are targeted by these pain relieving medications. And the other way is by accessing a separate pathway. It's a separate pain pathway that's not traditionally accessed by these opioid pain relievers. So those methods work directly on the pain, but there's also indirect benefits that meditation can have too, like reducing anxiety, stress, and those all help kind of alleviate your body and help in the healing process. So I've heard a lot of people, and myself included, mention that they're not great at meditation. They can't sit still for that long. They can't stop their mind from wandering. But your body and mind actually do experience the benefits even when you don't feel like you're meditating well. So that being said, it is something that takes practice and builds over time. You can kind of think about it like going to the gym, where the frequency and consistency are more important than intensity with less regularity. So some things to keep in mind, just for people who are starting out, or if you need a refresher, you can just start by sitting for 2 minutes a day. So just kind of clearing your head, blocking out those 2 minutes. And then as you start to build, add on 2 more minutes, add on 2 more minutes. And eventually you want to get somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes and then ideally 20 minutes a day. Personally, when I get a little bit busy, life just kind of happens, I break it up into 2 10-minute sessions. So trying to pick a time that works with you where you're more consistent is best. Usually people start first thing in the morning or right before they go to bed. That's kind of when your brain is in that alpha state. So when you have the alpha brain waves, you're just a little bit more calm, more relaxed, and meditation just intensifies that frequency. Another thing to keep in mind, don't get caught up in the how. So most people think about like, how do I sit? How do I sit like cross-legged? All of that, just do it. So sit down. The most important thing is making sure that you're in a quiet space where you're not going to have a lot of distractions like your cell phone going off or TV on in the background. You just want to sit in a chair, sit in a couch. You can cross your legs, you can have them uncrossed. Just have your hands kind of like rest very gently on your lap. And just anywhere where you can really focus is key there. And then just check in with how you're feeling. So when you first settle into your meditation session, see how you're feeling. Is your body feeling okay? Are you really stressed out? Are you agitated? Are you tired? Are you anxious? Just being aware of that and not judging it and knowing that it's completely okay. Just walking into that session with that mindset and accepting it fully. And then the next thing you want to do is just notice your breath. So pay attention as your breath comes in. Follow it through your nose all the way down to your lungs. Picture it coursing through your entire body and then exhaling it out. So really pinpointing the breath work is what will help you keep your mind from wandering. And when it does wander, it'll bring you back. It'll give you like a nice centered grounding approach. So to that next point, coming back when you wander. Your mind is definitely going to wander, and there's no problem with that. When you notice it wandering, just gently return to your breath. And it might be a little frustrating at first. You feel like you can't go more than 10 seconds or 5 seconds without jumping to the next thought. But just remember to come back to your breath, and eventually that'll build over time. Try not to judge your thoughts as they come in either. So if you notice any feelings or emotions arising, it's okay to stick with it and, kind of see where it goes, but don't get frustrated by it. Don't get caught up in it. Some people think you have to have a completely blank mind, but that's not necessarily the goal of meditation. It's just to think about things and to notice them as they come and letting them pass without really judging them. So things like your to-do list, though, or what you have to get done later on in the day, a conversation that you had in the past, you don't want to fixate on those too much. If you see your mind going there, you definitely want to take a deep breath and just bring it back to the present moment and how you're feeling right now, what's going on right in front of you, any sensations that are going on around you. That'll be a good way to bring it back to the present. Don't worry too much about doing it wrong. There's no perfect way to do it. Just be grateful that you've carved out some time in your day to just take a deep breath and do it right now. A lot of people do a body scan too while they're meditating. It's just a way to kind of follow your breath and have a rounded out practice where you start off with your attention to how is your head feeling, how's your brain feeling, taking a deep breath in and then following it all the way down to like your arms, checking in with your stomach, checking in with your legs. Is there any tension, any anxiety, any tightness? And just working through that all the way down to the soles of your feet. So you're just kind of seeing how everything's feeling and where there is a lot of tension or stress. And then one way to start kind of delving into a practice is guided meditation can be really helpful. And that's actually what we're going to do today. So there's a lot of guided meditation tools out there. Headspace is an app. There's just a lot of like free links that'll walk you through a guided meditation. But it's a good way to kind of, when you're first starting out, having a practice, but bringing it back whenever you do start to wander and do start to think about other things. So with that, I think we'll just kind of jump into a meditation. So get comfortable with your back straight. I'm gonna play a little bit of, it's like a high frequency music to help activate those alpha brain waves. But just find a relaxed, comfortable position. You can be seated on a chair, on the floor. Keep your back upright and straight, but not too tight. Tuck your chin in just a little, and keep your hands resting wherever they feel comfortable. The tongue should be rested on the roof of your mouth or wherever you feel it's most comfortable. Close your eyes and relax. Gently move your attention away from what you're thinking to the sensations in your forehead and around your eyes. Soften and let go of any tension. Smile a little, soften your jaw. Let your shoulders feel heavy and drop away from your neck. Relax your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, and your fingers. Relax any areas of tightness or tension. Just breathe and soften. So take in one deep breath and exhale any stale air out through your mouth. Again, take in a giant deep breath and exhale it through the mouth. Now just relax into your breath and notice the feeling of breathing. Notice how your body feels as you relax and drop. The part of your mind that is noticing, that's awareness. You don't need to look for it. Awareness is always here. Settle in and stay with your breathing for a few moments. Trust that your breath will find a natural rhythm. Breathing in, knowing you're breathing in, breathing out, and knowing you're breathing out. Notice where you feel your breath in your body. It might be in your abdomen, it might be in your chest or your throat, in your nostrils. See if you can feel the sensations of breath. If while you're sitting an emotion becomes strong and obvious, that can be what you focus on. Bring your attention to that emotion, and again, letting go of the breath or whatever else you were focusing on. Pay attention to the emotion, specifically feel it in your body, investigate it in your body. How do you feel this emotion? You might notice some clenching or tightness in your belly, maybe that's some vibration or tension in your chest. Maybe your throat feels tight. Maybe your face is warm. There's all sorts of sensations in your body to pay attention to. when you're having an emotion. You can label that emotion as fear or sadness or irritation, whatever it is, labeling it, feeling it in your body, and letting it go. If your mind gets busy, don't worry, that's what it's designed to do. To steady your attention, silently say in when you breathe in, silently say out and then breathe out. Thoughts, the images and sensations, they'll come and go. The goal is to notice them without thinking about them. Don't try to stop them. Don't try to make them go away. Don't try to change them. You don't need to reflect on them. There's plenty of time to reflect on them later. When sounds appear, hear them. When sensations appear, feel them. When thoughts and images come to mind, notice them. Let them pass. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. See if you can be really kind to yourself in the process. And once again, notice your body, your whole body seated here. And let yourself relax even more deeply. If you find yourself lost in thought, it's not a problem. Just relax. Notice your thinking. Keep your eyes closed. Stay with the silence. Let go of any stresses that might come to mind. Just stick with your breath. You don't need to do anything at all. Just let go, settle back, relax your mind. As we're coming to our last moments here ahead for the day, express gratitude to yourself for making some time this morning. Take in a few more deep breaths. Exhaling out any stale air again. Slowly start to wiggle your toes, your fingers, coming back to the present moment. You can open your eyes. Okay, well, hopefully you guys got a chance to really settle in and feel relaxed.
Nice. Very nice.
It was great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah and Ashley.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I hope this provided some help and relief for you. Really, the goal for what we're trying to do is to host one of these workshops, hopefully every month, and sharing this with everyone. We live in crazy times, and there's a ton of things that are really out of our control. However, what we can fully control in our lives is how we deal with the stresses and how we deal with our reactions to that. And the easiest and most actionable way is to truly focus on breathing and incorporating that into meditation. And we hope to see you guys soon. And if you'd like to hang out a little bit more, have any questions about us, what we do, hang on back and we can chat a little bit more about that. But aside from that, thank you so much for all of you for coming, and have a fantastic day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Ashley. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks,
Thanks,
Ashley.
guys. Appreciate it.